Or what?
They're leaning into woke. Hardcore.
They're petrified of some kind of backlash.
The actress's race and the crackhead dwarves have become the least of my concerns. So apparently, according to them and according to the writers of Snow White and Disney, women can't even want to be in love anymore. That was back in the 30s when women actually wanted to be around men, actually wanted to be in love. Like,
all of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
I've been a star before, and what happens is people puff you up and tell you that you're really important in order to keep you focused so that they continue to make money out of you.
Nobody wants a movie about true love? What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? It's the outrage.
I wanted my money back. It was very disappointing.
Everyone likes to make assumptions about my life. No, I've been getting a lot of questions about, like, how do I feel? Let's address the elephant in the room. It's great, okay? It's great. I'm honored. I don't know why I sound so angry right now. I'm honored. Am I a psychopath?
She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
they both have that look on their face, just like the feminists, like, yeah, we're so much better than you. Anyway,
Disney just faced one of its biggest disasters yet. Snow White, their $250 million live-action remake, has completely bombed at the box office. But instead of taking responsibility, lead actress Rachel Zegler is making things even worse. Fans are furious, Hollywood insiders are speaking out, and now there's even talk of her career being over. Could this be the end of Disney's woke era?
or you're making this girl boss story based on an important father figure. Her father tells her to be brave and strong. Don't you think that there's a, something redeeming about men in the story?
But why do you have to mess with a classic, especially with someone who doesn't even seem to like her own character?
We're not trying to turn Snow White into a MAGA conservative movie. We're just trying to represent the values that Snow White is based in, that are sadly being forgotten in this new adaptation.
Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office. They are more than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea. Maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood and put an actress in there that not only hates the plot and the storyline of the movie she's in, but also seemingly hates Snow White, the character, herself.
Am I a psychopath?
But the problem is that Disney fundamentally isn't capable of making anything that is truly non-woke anymore.
And you don't have to make men seem emasculated and puny to make women seem strong, and you don't have to eliminate them altogether, as this actress has actually suggested.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
Disney thought Snow White would be a massive hit, but the numbers tell a different story. The film opened to a pathetic $43 million, a disaster for a high-budget Disney film. But it gets worse. In just its second weekend, the movie collapsed by nearly 70%, bringing in only $13.7 million. After 2 full weeks, it barely managed to reach $120 million worldwide. That's not even close to covering the massive production and marketing costs.
Even the most girl-bossy, feminist girls out there that I know, they still come home, they cuddle up on the couch, and you know what they watch? Rom-coms.
So what do you think the odds are of this person working ever again?
But how many people do you hear about actors you love? You love what? Look at Robert De Niro. I love basically every movie he's ever done. Every time that guy opens his mouth as a private citizen, I'm like, oh my.
Are you having trouble paying your bills, Rachel?
None of them remakes are any good.
The movie is terrible anyway.
Critics called it a woke mess, and audiences refused to show up. But instead of acknowledging the failure, Rachel Zegler's response only made things worse. Rachel Zegler has been at the center of controversy since day one. She openly trashed the original Snow White, mocked the Prince Charming storyline, and even called the 1937 classic creepy. Fans were already skeptical, but after the movie flopped, Zegler made the ultimate mistake. She celebrated.
I feel like this Snow White controversy is single-handedly rolling back feminism. All these women are watching Rachel Zegler on their social media. They're hating her because she's absolutely destroying the...
Not gonna be safe for the prince.
They are pretending like Rachel Zegler is the first of them all when she looks like Lord Farquaad in the film.
Every way that Disney changed the story, it changed it for the worse.
The new Disney boss babe, who is Rachel Zegler, the inverse of happy.
Now, Disney, have you ever considered that your fairy tales have actually stood the test of time because they are always relevant, because that is what a fairy tale is, because they have timeless, universal values and lessons that any person, regardless of their age, regardless of their generation, could connect to?
Her tone-deaf reaction didn't sit well with fans. Instead of apologizing or addressing the backlash, she brushed it off as if nothing had happened. This only fueled more outrage, making her come across as arrogant and disconnected from reality.
She's gone on to talk about this film numerous times, how she once thought Snow White was creepy, she doesn't like the prince, she thinks she should get paid more because she has to wear that dress, she should get paid for streaming. I mean, talk about biting the hand that feeds.
I do feel like Snow White, and I love what we've been able to do with her, and I love that young girls can look up to her and that they have been looking up to her for 88 years.
What can be said about this level of narcissism here? Greatest Disney box office bomb in the history of Disney live-action remakes, but certainly also the end of her career.
Let's address the elephant in the room.
So she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat, and that's why people are so annoyed.
Even Hollywood insiders are now turning against her. Rumors are swirling that she could be blacklisted from future projects because of her negative public image. Could this Snow White disaster be the end of Rachel Zegler's career?
Somebody else said Snow White is kind, hopeful, resilient. Those are traits worth representing. Nope, not anymore. Outdated. If a woman is kind, that means that she is weak. We cannot have that anymore, ladies. You must be bossy at all times. You must be bratty, smug, and single and unhappy.
They should call this movie Snow Woke and the Seven Pronouns.
You can have female characters that are empowered, that do great things, they're heroines. I mean, that's fantastic. I don't think anybody has an issue with it. But you don't have to disparage men in the process. You don't have to call Prince Charming a stalker. You don't have to say that you could just eliminate him from the whole movie. I mean, there is a space where you can have strong females and strong males. It's called the real world.
It's not just Zegler who's facing the heat. Disney itself is in full panic mode. After years of pushing politically charged movies, they're realizing the strategy isn't working. Insiders now admit that audiences are sick of forced messaging and just want good storytelling. Executives are rethinking their approach after watching films like The Marvels and Indiana Jones 5 crash and burn at the box office. Now, with Snow White becoming one of the biggest box office bombs in Disney history, Hollywood is forced to listen.
You know, Disney just nose planted remarkably with Snow White and spent $250 million to make a dull mess and sink their damn company.
Woke is a poison apple and Disney have had a big bite of it.
You know what? Maybe Disney does. So Disney's Snow White flops on Sleepy Avenue. Of course it does, because they were disrespectful to their audience and she did a bunch of stuff.
They went woke.
Yeah.
She went out and said stuff woke that was going to hurt the film. They couldn't come out and go against her because they're going after somebody for saying what you say you believe.
You know, in the animated movie, she shows up to the dwarves' house. What does she do? She cleans the house, which is a mess, and she prepares a meal. But in the new movie, you can't have the lady cooking and cleaning. So what does she do in the new movie? She just takes a nap. That's the ideal of the modern woman.
Could this be the turning point? Will studios finally stop forcing agendas into beloved franchises? One thing is clear. Audiences have spoken. They're tired of Hollywood rewriting classics to fit modern trends. Disney's woke experiment is failing, and Rachel Zegler might just be its biggest casualty yet.
Like, the culture is trying to push wokeness. Wokeness is not a deep archetype. It's using the idea of victimhood and vulnerability as a new religion.
This movie could have easily been cheap enough that they would have earned back their production budget and then some. $43 million for an opening weekend is terrible. It's terrible for a widely released, high-budget Disney film, but it should have been more than enough to make your money back. And then there's the movie itself, which by all accounts is terrible. It was destined to be terrible. You know, we've been through all the problems with it. This is an uber-woke, feminist, girl boss reimagining of one of the most cherished films and stories of all time.
I know that you've rewritten it, and it's going to be about a Snow White that don't need no man to save her. Did you ever stop to think that in this day and age, that is exactly what we want? There are women in this world who want that fairy tale because all they've known is the exact opposite.
What do you think? Should Rachel Zegler take responsibility? Or is the backlash too much? And is this the end of Disney's woke era? Let me know in the comments.